Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome in to the Hoops Hour, the Saturday edition. I am the big man on campus. Get you ready here for a big Saturday in college hoops. Sorry for the little wait there. Sometimes the link is bad and I have to create a new one. So there we go. Hopefully you're in here and you're enjoying your day wherever you are. Thanks for joining me. We will give a couple seconds to the people that needed the new link and have now found it and have joined the show. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe as always. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so you don't ever miss a show. I do these shows all the time. Don't tell me what to do, Christian. I'll do what I want. This is my show. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I have plenty of time. I just want to welcome all the great listeners here to the show. I also want to commend all the cool people that contacted me about the new venture. For anyone that missed it, I did kind of just move on from Right Wager. I went on my own, and again, wish those guys a lot of luck. But now it's my time. Make sure you join me every time I go live. Also, I want you to go support the sponsor, MyBookie. Make sure you check out MyBookie. Guys, the season is getting more interesting. Baseball's coming, March Madness. Make sure you have a few different books. MyBookie should be one of them. Make sure you're going to MyBookie and signing up. Get yourself an account. Make sure you use promo code BMOC. If you use BMOC in the promo code line when you open your account, you get 50% on your first deposit up to $1,000. You can wager there. You can enter contests, and you can have them as a great new book. I use them, like the interface a lot, real easy to use. Make sure you're checking out MyBookie. Use promo code BMOC when you're opening your account to get yourself a nice little bonus. All right, guys, let's get into the show. We'll start out here with some 12 o'clock games. Try to provide some insight there. I have a large list here of the games that I'll get into. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can, and I'll try to provide the best analysis possible. All right. We will start it out with 601-602 Oklahoma heading on the road to take on Texas Christian. Line at 5.5, total 144.5. This line's kind of stayed at 5.5. Haven't seen any movement on this one. Look, I love Oklahoma at home. I think they're still a team that I have interest in. And I think this line's a bit high. I don't love TCU. They're very reliant on getting to the line. And you have another bad matchup here off the loss to Kansas. You haven't played in 5 days. That was a tough loss. A game for TCU that they may have been able to find a way in. It was at home. Kansas had foul issues, and Kansas was still able to prevail. This is another pretty poor matchup for TCU. I know the game's at home, but you look at this game. TCU in conference, so reliant, guys, on getting to the line. That's almost exclusively how they create offense. You look at in conference, second in the league at getting to the line. You look at all as far as their point distribution, how they score, second in the league as far as free throws and aiding their scoring. Over 20% of their points are scored from the foul line. This is an Oklahoma defense that I've talked about. I think they've improved a lot this year. They have improved. They're not giving up 80 points a game like they were last year. They've been good offensively, but they've been great defensively. You look at in conference, they've been good. You look at overall, 19th in the country in adjusted efficiency, and they just don't put their opponents on the line. You look at this year, 13th in the country in that stat. This is not a particularly good schematic matchup for TCU. And you look at Oklahoma, had such a great start. We're beating teams out of conference, Creighton and Dayton and Florida and Wichita and Notre Dame and North Texas and Northwestern and all these teams. They have a great out of conference record. The only loss came to Wisconsin. But this season, it's been tough. They've lost 5 in a row. They need something good to go their way. I think they're a pretty decent matchup in this game they do have a pretty decent matchup for themselves in this game. Pretty decent rebounding team. I think Oklahoma can hang around here. If I had to play it, I'd lean Sooners. I just think it's a good matchup for this group. But the always ever-changing issue is, can they go and win on the road? You look at the last couple road games, lost by 6, lost by 7, lost by 3, and lost by 7. I mean, in conference. They've hung around in these road games, just that simple. We hope they can get some quality scoring tonight and some consistent scoring along the way. Thanks, Scott, Bradley, KC, Austin, Alan, Ronald, Sam, Austin. Again, guys, if you're trying to DM me, just email me. It's a lot easier. I'm very busy right now. Email me, bmocsports@gmail.com. If you have any questions, I'll get back to you. I've responded to every email that I've gotten. Please do me a favor and email me. It's a little bit easier. Let's get it going here and continue. Maryland and Michigan, 603, 604. Michigan up to 7. A big move here. If you like the Wolverines, I mean, they were 5.5 at one point. Total is at 128. Obviously, public coming in here and betting Michigan. You look at the numbers here, everybody all over Michigan. Not a ton of, there's not really any big time bets on Maryland. A little sharp action maybe, but other than that, not a ton here. 3,100 wagers on this game. This is a fascinating game because on the surface, this looks like a great Michigan spot. Their awful loss to Penn State, a game that they really should never have lost. You shouldn't lose to Penn State ever, but they did. This is a great rebound spot for them at home. They do pose some trouble. You look at Maryland, just a very young team. I mean, this is a tough trip for this group, coming off a big-time win against Purdue. You look at really everything. Michigan's so good defensively. Maryland just doesn't do a ton, I think, that's going to bother Michigan. Michigan doesn't turn the ball over, and that's how Maryland kind of eats. They love to create turnovers. They love to kind of get up and run. Michigan's not going to do that. And it's just not really that favorable a matchup for Maryland. You look at this Maryland team. We know they're big, and we know they will probably have some success inside. But again, Michigan's just so good defensively, it's hard to really run whatever offense you want. You look at this Maryland defense. I mean, they just don't really do much, I think, to bother Michigan. Michigan just doesn't beat themselves. They don't turn the ball over. The only thing they do, guys, and this is a big thing, and this is something they have to fix, and they're going to have to do to win this game. But I've been quite happy with what has happened with them. They're not a great foul shooting team. You look at this year, though, in conference, 74.4% from the line. They've actually done pretty well, actually, from the line. It's not hurting them like normal. It looks like a great bounce back. But, again, if Maryland can rebound the ball at a high level, they're a pretty good rebounding team. They can kind of do the inside-out game like normal. They have a chance. But this is a real nice spot for Michigan coming off of a bad loss. At this number, I just don't really have much on it. It's just gotten a little too high, I feel like. What's up, Shane? Thanks for watching. Mike, thanks for watching. Reggie, what's happening? Appreciate that. And all of you guys, thanks for watching me. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. What else do we have here? Clemson, Louisville. I got to tell you guys, this looks like a decent spot to grab the road dog. I don't like Clemson. I've talked about Clemson. I frankly hate Brad Burnell. I can't stand him. I think he's one of the worst coaches in the country in a major program. Just hate him. But you look at this spot, I mean, it's really hard to not like Clemson here. I mean, you look at what we're dealing with here. You're dealing with kids at the end of the day. This is a brutal stretch for Louisville. They played North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Florida State, and Duke. And in that game against Duke, they blew a 23-point lead with 9 minutes to go and lost the game at home. This is a brutal spot. How do you not come out of this game at 12 o'clock and not be hungover? It's like drinking the night before, and then you got to wake up and you say, oh, my God. You rest your head up and you say, oh, my God, my head is killing me. But you got to get up and go to work. It's a 12 o'clock start. It's not the greatest spot in the world. And you look at Clemson. You look at a couple of things that they do. They do turn the ball over. But Louisville, not a great team as far as turning it over. They're experienced as well. You look at this Clemson group, pretty good shooting team. Always have been able to shoot the ball pretty well. Have had a lot of great players at Clemson. This is not one of the vintage Clemson teams, but they've won 4 or 5. They're off a tough loss. They think they're ready to get some retribution for. And you look at Clemson, 39th in the country in experience. They have a lot of continuity with the minutes that they're playing. Again, I mean, if you want to bet Louisville here, be my guest, but it's not a particularly great spot. This is me. Look, is Louisville the better team? Sure they are. In fact, they're way better. But this is just, I can't really get into this spot. I mean, how can you? The only thing that has me pause is Chris Mack. He's a great coach. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's found a way to get these kids to get up. The game was Tuesday. It's Saturday now. They still have had a great season. There's still a lot of games left. They still get Virginia twice. They still play Syracuse. So, again, it's not a great spot as a sports bettor. You look to go against teams like this. So, I mean, be my guest. But I'm just telling you, I wouldn't do it. Ronald Sanchez, big man, emailed you, but no response. Listen, Ronald, I responded to every single person. I did it before the show. Maybe you got to check your spam folders, people. Sometimes they go through there. I cannot walk everyone through these kind of things. You have to be able to check all the folders. What's up on Temple? I'll get to Temple in just a bit. Yes, I leaned Oklahoma. Yes. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate. Thanks for watching. Let's keep it going here. NC State Duke. That one's a little bit later. Don't have much on that one. Figuring out Duke is like figuring out a fucking quadratic equation. Betting against them is just not something I want to do. NC State, if anyone could tell me what you're going to get out of this team. I mean, one night they score 26 points or whatever they score. The next night they score 88. I can't figure them out. Oklahoma State, Texas. This one's at 1. Again, another big line for Oklahoma State. I mean, and they are interesting. I mean, you're giving me 11 against Texas. This isn't Kansas. It's Texas. It's Texas at home. It's Texas at home with fucking Matthew McConaughey on the bench. Hell off the bench, McConaughey. You're not a coach. Go sit in your seat like every other human being. What's with McConaughey? Having act like the big fucking, he's a big guy there. Look, we get it, McConaughey. You're a big Texas fan. You're not a coach. Get off the bench, dude. I mean, how lame is that? This guy's telling coaches to sit down. Beat it, McConaughey. Get a grip. Go up in the box and sip a fucking cognac and shut up. We get it. I love how Matt McConaughey thinks he's this big super fan. Yeah, every time Texas plays on national TV, they lose. You get that one big win against Kansas. I hate Texas. I hate this program. I hate everything about them. They're the most overrated franchise, or they're the most overrated school in America. Texas. What the hell did they ever win? Oh, yeah, that's right. They had Vince Young one time and Kevin Durant. Other than that, they fucking won shit. They won Ugats. They have their own Longhorn Network. Get out of the Longhorn Network. And I got to pay extra for that. Get out of here. Beat it. Beat it, Texas. But in this spot, look, Oklahoma State, you got to wonder when they're going to run out of steam here. And this team just isn't playing with many bodies. They've had to cut some kids. Michael Weathers was their best player. They kick him off the team. Here's the thing about Texas, though. This team has been very dynamic on offense, particularly in conference. If I asked you right now who the number one 2-point offense in the Big 12 would be, would you guess it was Texas? It is. It's Texas. I think they're going to have a lot of success scoring a basketball. And I look at Oklahoma State, and I think to myself, they can knock down some threes, which they're going to take a lot of them. Why doesn't this game go over 131? Like that number's too low to me. Like I think Texas will have plenty of success. Oklahoma State can't defend at all. And you look at Oklahoma State, where do they get their offense from? 3-point line. They're number one in the Big 12. 39% of their points come from the 3-point line. You look at this Texas team, have had trouble defending the 3-point line. 8th in the Big 12, 220 in the country. I think we see some points in this basketball game. Over 131 looks like a decent play here. You don't have terribly slow tempos, not the fastest, certainly not the fastest, but I think both offenses will have some success here. 130. I mean, you don't need much to get over 130. If this game's 71-54 late, I mean, you're gonna have them running offense late in this game. You're not gonna be slowing this one down. I think over has some value here in Oklahoma State, Texas. What's up, Simone? Thanks for watching. Do I hate Shaka? I'm not a big fan of his. I think he's better suited out at a smaller school. I don't think he's the type to be a Texas coach, just putting it that way. I don't think his stuff is working. He got Mohamed Bamba to go there. Great. Miles Turner's a pretty good player, but I don't know. I just Texas and Tennessee are just delusional fan bases. They think that they should be revered above like everyone else with like Duke and basketball and Alabama and football because we're in the SEC or we're in this. Listen, you guys are hacks. You don't win shit. Like Notre Dame. What has Notre Dame done in the last 40 years? I mean, since like the 70s, what has Notre Dame done? I think they were relevant in the 80s at one point, but what have they done since then? Ugats. They've done nothing. Like these sports programs just become like these beings. Like they're supposed to be like something that I have to care about. Texas, Tennessee, and Notre Dame. Over fucking rated. It's that simple. Thanks for watching, Sean. Thanks for watching, John, Mike, Doug, Square, Jordan, Ron John. What's up? So, yeah, there's my rant today on Texas athletics. Notre Dame, Virginia. This one goes at 2 o'clock. Again, I don't really understand the move down here. This is open at 18.5. I thought the line at 18.5 was low. I would have put it 19.5, even 20. Why is this line dropped to 17? I mean, I'm seeing a 16.5 at Bet Online. Somebody knows something here, and I have concerns. This has the makings of Ty Jerome going to rest because we're seeing that, guys, lately. Virginia's going to beat Notre Dame. It's just that simple. They don't need Ty Jerome to beat Notre Dame. They have a big game on the docket against Virginia Tech. They got Louisville on deck. This scares me, guys. I'm telling you right now. I've seen these fucking plays before. This is a big move down. It's not just 1 point or a half a point. This has moved down almost 2 points. You look at 53% of the tickets on Virginia, but 79% of the money on Notre Dame. That means the big bets, the big dollars are coming in on Notre Dame, the sharper bets. It would not surprise me if at 2 o'clock or 1:30, Ty Jerome's out of this game or someone's taking a night off. This just looks too good to be true. If you're betting Virginia at 16.5, I would do it because you're hoping and you're just thinking that for whatever reason the Sharps are wrong. But it looks like a rough one. This is a big look-ahead game. This is a game you're going to win without your best players. You don't need Jerome. Guy could take a night off if he wants. Someone's going to be in this game that probably shouldn't be, and someone's going to be out of this game that shouldn't be. Because you have Braxton Key, Kahi Clark, all those guys can play. Diakite, he was kind of knackered in the last game. So, you have guys here that I wouldn't be surprised if they don't play. You're going to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame stinks. And right now, it's not about winning by 20. As long as you win games, it really doesn't matter. So I would tread lightly on this one. If you have a Virginia connect, ask them what's going on, see what's happening here. But this is a concern one for me. I want all of you to remember when you see someone out, say, "Well, big man told me." These lines shouldn't be moving like this, especially on this game. So, and like I said, I'd have put this line much higher. I thought 18.5 was too low to begin with. So, but it's hard to not take Virginia. I know. We talked about this on Peterson's show. Virginia should kill Notre Dame. They should win the game like they did the first time. And I had them in the first game. I bet them at -6.5. I didn't understand the number. It's the weirdest number on earth. They won by 25. So just tread lightly. North Texas at Florida International, 643, 644. I'll tell you what, guys, keep your eye on North Texas. This team's really good. Really good. Wouldn't be surprised if they win the Conference USA. Really good basketball team. But they've lost 2 in a row. And you look at every time this team steps up in this conference, they have lost. It's just that simple. You look at all their wins in conference, particularly lately, they've been against the rated 189 team or worse. You look at UTSA, rated high, lose to them. UAB, lose to them. Old Dominion, rated better than them, lose to them. West Kentucky, lose. Florida Atlantic, lose. They've had trouble against these really good teams in this conference. Now, are you going to say to me, big man, would you consider FIU a good team? No, I wouldn't. In fact, FIU is pretty heinous. North Texas is a really good defensive team. This is a big clash in styles game, guys. North Texas wants to slow it down. Generally, those kind of teams win the tempo battle here. FIU, second fastest team in the country. They want to go quick. The problem that FIU has is they don't really do anything well from the foul line. They're 65%. They don't shoot the three well. They are strictly a get in the lane, get to the line kind of team. Listen, North Texas is better than they are. It's just that simple. They shouldn't have any trouble in this game. They're a way better team. This is a game where you look to finish up the season on a high note. As we know, Conference USA ending the season a bit earlier. 2.5 looks like a solid play here. I'd lay it. I don't love these spots, but I think it's a good spot to bounce back if you're Grant McCaslin's team. This is a good matchup for you. FIU stinks. Their game is we're going to go a mile a minute. We're going to get into the lane. North Texas is built for that defensively. Very good defensive team. Very good. You look at number-wise, number 2 in the Conference USA. Very good 3-point defense. Pretty solid defense in general. North Texas looks solid here. Do I think teams like Yale are laying off the gas a bit? No, I don't. Yale isn't going to do that. Yale's better than most of the teams in that conference. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Good bounce back spot for the mean green. About 400 people in here. Again, guys, if you have the ability, retweet the show on Twitter. Maybe a friend sees it and they might like it. Make sure you join it. Do that and to help me out. It's a great way to grow the show. I'm always looking to just grow my show and brand. This is a free show. Doesn't cost anything. And we had a new link, so I think that hurt. There were like 200 people in there waiting, which what are you going to do? Technology sometimes. I have one play that I've already sent out. I have a few more as well. Really looking forward to the card today. Always enjoy Saturdays and always enjoy talking hoops. We will get to the big one, Kentucky and Tennessee, in just a little bit. Let's go through some more games, and then we'll take some questions. And I also want to shout out all of you. I hit 3,000 subscribers. I'm very happy with that. I started this channel as a way to do one show. I hoped I could just find a few hundred people to watch it every day. Now we're up to 3,000 subscribers. And you know what I'm proud of with those 3,000 subscribers? I would say probably 2,990 of them are all big-time fans of mine. And I thank you for that. Listen, when I started doing all this, I was in my living room, and I still am for the most part. People might not know this, and I'm proud of it. Last year when I went to the Final Four, someone came up to me and said, I loved your content. I've never met them before. I don't know who they are. They just knew who I was. And I thought that was pretty cool. I'm doing something. I'm very proud of it. Now I'm doing something that I'm doing alone. I can take it the way I want to take it. And I'm very happy. And I'm happy to have all of you here. And I appreciate you taking an hour out of the day every day or more and watching my content. I know sometimes you hear stuff about Big Man. You hear who he is and who he's not. Listen, people don't know you. They think they know you, but they don't. They have no idea. This is the diary of the big man on campus. It's just that simple. People don't know me, and that's just the truth. People like to bring you down. People like success. They don't like successful people. I'm very happy and content with what I'm doing. And when people say to me, did you see this? Did you see that? I don't read into the bullshit. People could talk about me all they want. It don't mean nothing to me. And I thank all of you guys. You guys are great. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, Sean. Ergo, appreciate it, bro. Thanks for watching. Kentucky Derek, what's up? Okay, let's keep it going. We'll get to I'll give you guys a free pick, my favorite out of the card at the end of the show. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll get to Kentucky and Tennessee in just a bit. UAB, West Kentucky. Interesting game here. I like the way West Kentucky's playing right now, playing some great basketball as the season ends. And I think that's right where Rick Stansbury hoped they'd be. They've won 5 in a row. They've won 8 of 9. The only blemish coming to La Tech. They get UAB at home tonight. West Kentucky is all about cohesiveness. They didn't have it early on. They struggled. And now they have it, and they're doing some great things. UAB, decent. I think they're worth a look here. West Kentucky, maybe. Gun to my head, I think they're the better team. This UAB team has had some issues defending the three. They've had some issues turning teams over, but I think West Kentucky will find a way at home here. Not a game that I'm in love with, just a kind of an interesting game from a scenario of just how good West Kentucky's playing right now. You'd have to figure in the last game of the regular season, they're going to look to put one in here. They're a much bigger team than UAB. I think Basie gives them some problems here. A couple of added games here that we'll throw in. I've had some success down with the MEAC, which I'll always get into. Always enjoy those conferences. Really had some good success there. Coppin and Maryland Eastern Shore, 2 of the worst teams in the country, squaring off today. Bethune-Cookman laying 2 at South Carolina State. Might be a pretty good spot there. Bethune's a good team. I like that team a lot. Lipscomb, Kennesaw. Lipscomb laying a big number off a loss. You have to figure that's a good spot for that group. Lehigh, BU. I talked about this game with Greg. I like Lehigh here. I don't think this is a vintage BU team. I just don't. I think Lehigh is a pretty bad matchup right now for really everybody. They're so good from the three-point line. In fact, BU, a team that has really struggled against the three this year. BU struggles in general defensively. But this Lehigh team, number 1 in the country in three-point percentage. They're terrific at 44%. Really great offense. Really good offense. And I worry at BU's ability to stop Lehigh here. Lehigh, I think this is a great spot to really get after it defensively. This team hasn't been great. They've been good defensively, not great. I think this is a great thing to shore up. I don't understand the move down in this game. To me, I would have listed this number 3. I think Lehigh's a 3-point road favorite against BU. It's down to 1.5. You only have about 38 or 40 bets on this game, not a ton as far as tracking. BU, I guess, is getting some sharp wagers. I don't see it. I think Lehigh's way better. This could be one of those games where you just hold your nose and say, I'm going to go with the team that I think is better. I think they have a big advantage. Liberty, North Alabama. Interesting spot. A lot of college basketball heads like this one. A lot of people are liking North Alabama. And for good reason. This is a terrible spot for Liberty. Liberty on the road, off a huge win against their rival, a big-time rival, a team that had been killing it. It's a big game for North Alabama. North Alabama is a team that just came into Division I, very small school, very small, intimate gym. And a lot of people are going to back North Alabama here. I'm not. In fact, I'm going to recommend Liberty. Look, while this is a great spot for North Alabama, here's what happens in these conferences, okay? You get a win like that, okay? Most of the time, if you're a good basketball team and you're well coached, like they are with Richie McKay, what's going to happen is if you're Liberty, you have a new lease on life. You've beaten Lipscomb. You're right there with them. You really think they're not going to want to come into this game and say, let's fucking keep this going? I mean, we have a big time advantage here. We're terrific on offense. We're terrific on defense. North Alabama is as bad as it gets on offense. This team is putrid offensively. Putrid. Let me say that again. North Alabama is putrid offensively. So when you're getting into your book today and you're taking North Alabama just because it's a letdown spot, remember that. I'm not buying it. The discrepancy between these teams is too much. Could we see a slow first half from Liberty? Sure we can. Would it surprise me if this is 31-24 at half? No. But I think in the second half, that's where letdowns go away. That's where you make your adjustments. And you know what? You know where letdowns happen? Look at Louisville. They have 4 tough games in a row. And they're off a really tough one. That could happen. But Liberty is so superior to North Alabama. I just don't see it. Guys, first game these two teams played. Liberty won 72-47. Let me say that again. They won 72-47. So you're telling me because of a change of venue and a letdown possibility, I don't see it. I could see where you would see it, but I don't. I think the lease on life is there. Now, listen, if Liberty would have lost the other night, I would have think that's a bigger letdown because then you say to yourself, now we're fucking out of it. They beat us twice. The mental psyche is just bad. It's like, I'll put it like this. It's similar to like losing your girlfriend. Like she dumps you, and then an hour later, you got to go to a family party. You're just not into it. You just want to cry and go in bed. That's what you want to do. But this is not that spot, though. So, it's your opinion. Again, guys, I know a lot of people are asking about games. I'm trying to give you my best opinions on these games. I'll try to get to every person. Liberty, 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 Liberty. There you go. Okay, let's get into it. Temple, South Florida. Game a couple people asked about. This another, obviously, must win. Temple really can't afford any more slip-ups. Look, frankly, I think they're out of it at this point. They're on the bubble. It's just that simple. You look at right now, they're the last 4-in team. Going to South Florida and losing for as improved as the Bulls are, it still doesn't matter. If you go to South Florida today and lose, kiss it goodbye. You've had leases on life here. You lost to Penn, you were still alive. You lost to Tulsa, you were still alive. Do I really have to say this? Doesn't this look like a spot for Temple where they go and lay an egg? Doesn't it? Just beats SMU at home. Nice win. Back on the road again. That's been trouble for Temple. You look at their schedule lately. Away, home, away, home, away, home, away, home, away, home. I mean, these are tough. Playing at home and then going away. Then coming back and going. That's a lot of traveling, people. Temple had a plane issue last Saturday. Got in late. That was the reason they called for the loss. Have to figure they don't have that this week. And listen, I've talked all season. SMU finds ways to lose games. They're SMU. That's what, or South Florida. They find ways to lose games. It's just how they are. They're not a good team. They're terrible from the line. That's the difference in this game, if you ask me. In a pick-em type of game, that's the difference here. Temple, 74% from the line. South Florida, 63.5% from the line. Look, Temple is really improved from the three-point line. This is South Florida defense that struggled from that standpoint. But you know what I would go with in this game, guys? And I mean it. I'd take this game over. I think both these teams have a lot of success scoring. You look at South Florida and what they do offensively. They're one of these teams that they almost exclusively are looking to get into the lane. They're looking to play up. They're looking to play inside. They're looking to get to the line. They're looking to create. Riddell, David Collins. That's what they do. Temple is not exactly a team fit for that kind of offense. Their bigs are weak. They're not good. Look, and I know Temple. I know everything about them. I root for them. Temple has not had bigs in a long time, and they don't this year either. Their guards are big, Alston and Rose, and they'll have a big advantage in this game over South Florida. But you look at Temple and clearly how big of a discrepancy they are defensively. In conference, they're first in the conference against the 3. They're 12th in the conference against the 2. What does that tell you? It tells you that they can't defend, teams that like to slash and get to the hoop. It's very simple. Look at the numbers. Look at Temple. They should have some success as well. Temple has to win. There's just no excuse. But we've seen this story before with the Owls, haven't we? Hard to back Temple. Hard to back them. I wouldn't say South Florida is terrible inside of the arc. I mean, they just, unfortunately, they get to the foul line more than like anyone in the country, but they don't make their foul shots, which hurts a lot. I didn't even know Shiz Alston dad's goes to my barbershop. Yeah, his dad's all around Philly. His dad's a big Philly legend. Lucky. That doesn't surprise me. He's at all the games too. Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, stereotypical game for Temple. Stereotypical. Like I said, lean over. I'll be rooting for Temple because I'm a fan and I want them to win, but it scares you. Mississippi State, Arkansas. I looked at that game a good amount. I've made a lot of money this year on overs in this conference. A lot of these books haven't caught up to Mississippi State this year. Their tempo is a bit better. They're a lot better offensively than they've been in previous years, and they've not been as good defensively either. Mississippi State has been good defensively, not great, and they've kind of almost played with tempo and played with the team that they're playing. Arkansas goes really quick. Gafford, I think, should have a big game here. He's a really dynamic player. I lean over. I kind of got off it a bit just because I do see Mississippi State. I could see them really kind of building off the game the other night that they won against Alabama. They were terrific on defense in that game. You look at the last 2 games, Mississippi State's been pretty good defensively. If they get going defensively, watch out because they're really good on offense. The Witherspoon kids are terrific. Lamar Peters is fantastic. Holman and Perry down low, really solid. LSU, Georgia, good over game there as well. 2 pace teams. LSU obviously coming off the big win, but Georgia's kind of in a low point right now. That number has gotten a bit high. It's up to 152-ish. If you could still get 151.5, I think it's a decent play. Both those games, I don't think you'll lose betting the overs. I mean, I think if you bet 2 overs, I think worse you go is 1-1. I mean, SEC's had some good over games this year. And the big boys in the forefront have been, Mississippi State, Auburn, LSU, Georgia, all those teams. Been good over teams all season. Hofstra, UNC Wilmington. Now, we all know what happened the other night, guys. I had Northeastern as a premium selection. Thought it was the best play on the board. And you know what? If Pasika plays, it would have been. They would have won by 20. But Pasika got sick. And he didn't play. And laying 6.5, they won by 4. Those ones hurt. Now I look at my boys from Hofstra and say, wow, laying 9.5 today. Why don't I like them today? I do. I mean, how can I not? I like Northeastern the other night at Wilmington. Why don't I like Hofstra? Because I think Hofstra is the best team in this league. And they're the number one offensive team in every category in this conference. Efficiency, effective field goal. They don't turn the ball over. They get to the line. They make their free throws 80%. They're number one in 2-point and 3-point percentage. They're number one in tempo. Hofstra is a gleaming beam this year in this conference. Offensively, they are as good as it gets. I mean, how efficient is this? All you see is green on this offensive chart. Everything they do is number one. Number one. In the great words of Mike Francesa, number one. Everything they do is good. Everything. And they make 80% of their foul shots. Hofstra is a darling in my eyes, a darling in these eyes, because they make free throws. They close fucking games out. Oh, and by the way, UNC Wilmington can't fucking defend. 10th in the league in defense. Just don't defend. It's that simple. They don't turn you over, and they're not going to turn Hofstra over. Hofstra has a great point guard, didn't turn it over. Hofstra is a good team, man. Watch out for them if they get to the tournament. I think they'll beat a team because they have a capable scorer. They have a diminutive point guard. They play good defense, and they're really tough to stop offensively. Wilmington, other than Kaycock, there's not a lot of talent on this group. The only thing you don't love about Hofstra, they're not an overly big team, which hurts. Jaquil Taylor is going to have to be big tonight. But Hofstra is a fucking great team to watch. We're seeing some bad news come across the chat here. Some kind of building collapse. I don't know exactly what this is. An incident was at was near where the USF plays. Wow, that's terrible. I didn't hear about that. I'm kind of in the middle of this, but that's terrible. Tim Fuller, do I like Auburn? I'll get to that game. Thanks for watching, bro. Appreciate it. Feel like the dog's going to be barking early today. Wouldn't doubt it. Thank you, Rob Taz. Appreciate that. Very kind of you. If anyone has any questions, you can email me after the show. As far as what I do off the show, any questions, bmocsports@gmail.com. Thank you, KD. Appreciate that. You're very kind. Okay, St. Petersburg University. Okay, it's not USF. Yeah, sounds like a bad situation there. Tim asked about Auburn today. The Auburn Tigers. So, look, I got to tell you, I don't really like this group at all. I'm not a big Auburn guy. I just think they're so reliant on the three, and look, to win, you have to be a little bit more dynamic. Look, they play Vandy today. You shouldn't have a ton of trouble. But listen, guys, it's very simple. I'm not interested in Auburn on the road at all, ever. Should they win this game by 20? Yeah, they should. But again, I mean, find me a good Auburn road performance this year. I mean, let me just explain this, guys, again, and I think this is important. On the road this year, Auburn has won once. Once. They beat A&M once. I mean, it's February 16th, and they've won once on the road this year. Now, I know you'll say, well, big man, they won some neutral court games. Okay, that's true. But in true road games, they have one road win this season. They're not the same team on the road. They're just not. If I was a betting man, though, which I am, Vanderbilt has not won since January or December 31st. So they have not won in the new year, guys. They're a bad matchup for Vandy here as well, is Auburn. Vandy turns the ball over a lot. Auburn's great at creating turnovers. They don't defend the three. I mean, this is a pretty good spot for Auburn to find their way, but I have no interest in betting Auburn on the road. I don't. Thanks for watching, Blue. Appreciate it. Dean, welcome in. All right, guys, let's get into Kentucky, Tennessee. And you know what? I got to tell you, I don't have a ton on this one, to be honest. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it comes down to the wire. And if I had to play it, look, at this number, I'd take Tennessee at this number. Do I think they're going to win? No. If you ask me who do I think is going to win, I think Kentucky's going to win. I just don't believe in Tennessee. So here's what's going to happen, guys, today. I'm going to tell you it's a show me Saturday, Tennessee. Show me. Show me you can beat a good team in conference on the road. Show me, Tennessee. If Tennessee wins this one, I'll say, you know what? What a win. Good for Tennessee. Because they haven't beat anyone in fucking months. Tennessee's schedule is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I just don't see it with them. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm not saying Grant Williams isn't great. I love Grant Williams. I think he's a player of the year candidate. But they haven't beaten anybody other than Gonzaga and Louisville. And that was back in December. Show me today, Tennessee. Shut me up. I've been waiting for that fucker to get in here. See you later, buddy. I've been wanting to block that guy for a while. But yeah, show me, Tennessee. Will I consider them a top 3 team if they win today? Yeah, I will. Because I think that's what they're lacking. I want to see them do it. Show me they can do it. It's a great game. Great game. And if you tell me, I think it's going to be real difficult to go into Kentucky and win. I think they can match the physicality on the block. Jordan Bone's been playing better, but I just really like what Kentucky's doing. And people will say, well, they lost their last game, right, on a weird call at the end of the game. And look, let's be honest. Is it that big a deal they lost? I mean, seriously. Sometimes you need to be humbled a little bit. And look, it hurt. That one sucked. What state's motto is the show me state? Kansas. Yeah, I'm going to watch it as a fan. Gun to my head, I'd take Tennessee +4. I think Kentucky win, though. I think it's like a 72-70 type of game. I think it's a fun game. Should be great to watch. No problem, Kenny. Yeah, guys, Troy's a fade team. They don't play today, but without Bernardo, they are horrendous. Like, they're really bad. All right, guys, let's get to wrapping this show up. I have some friends of mine that do a show at 11, and I am not going to cut into their time. Well, there you go, Missouri, whatever. Let's kind of wrap it up. I'll be on Periscope a little bit later, going over some of the later games. I try to give you the best breakdowns possible here on this show. I want to make sure I provide everybody with good plays. For me, I got to tell you guys, for a free play of the day, I would go Lehigh. I think they beat BU. I think they're a better team. I just do. Liberty. I think Liberty get the job done against North Alabama. I think they win that one big. Thanks all of you for watching. It was much appreciated. Almost 450 people in here live. You're the best. All of you, if you want to get in touch with me, please don't email me about games. I do shows. This is what they're for. But if you have any questions on the service that I'm providing right now, let me know. Other than that, let's have a great day. Probably on Periscope later, so make sure you tweet me. Get on my Twitter. That's where I post that Periscope. I might do that, a little bit later. So all of you have a great day. Thanks for watching. And hopefully we won't have an issue next week with being 8 or 9 minutes late, and we can get a few more games in. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't miss a show ever. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out as well. I'm the big man on campus. Make sure to comment as well if you missed it. Have a great day. Bye-bye.